welcome to the video lecture on the course of AMP and linear integrated circuit. In this session, we will be discussing the topic of signal generators and mainly on the concept of frequency and duty cycle adjustments. In the previous session, we have determined the expression for amplitude as well as frequency, where the frequency was fixed. Now, if we want to vary the frequency, then we have to modify the circuit by some means so that the frequency can be varied and also the duty cycle. Duty cycle is nothing but it is the ratio of on time to the total time, on time of the rectangular wave to the total time of the rectangular wave. So we will see in the steps how we can vary this frequency and duty cycles. So for frequency adjustments, in this case we have modified the circuit by a small amount, that is we have used the additional resistance R4. For this particular part here, this case is the frequency of the circuit depends on the level of charging current through the capacitor C1. So whatever amount of current is flowing, it depends upon the magnitude of the current, what we can say. Now this magnitude of current is controlled by the resistance R1 and it is depending upon the resistance R1 of the circuit. Suppose if we add additional resistance R4 in series with R1, then R4 is a variable resistor. We can control the value of the current what is flowing through the capacitance C1 so that the charging time and the discharging time R1 can be of C1 can be controlled. We will consider what will happen if we increase the value of resistance R4 and if we decrease the resistance of value R4. Increasing R4, what happens when we are increasing the value of resistance R4? It reduces the level of the charging current. The amount of current flowing through the capacitor C1 reduces, which indicates that the capacitor C1 takes more time to charge. Hence there will be an increase in the time intervals T1 to T2. The time interval T1 to T2 increases, also T2 to T3 increases. When the time interval increases, the time period, the entire time period of the output waveform also increases. When the entire time period increases, the frequency decreases. So by increasing the resistance R4, the frequency decreases. The frequency decreases. On the counterpart to it, decreasing the resistance of R4, the amount of current, charging current through C1 increases. The amplitude increases, what we can say. When the amount of current increases, the capacitor C1 takes less time to charge and hence the time there is a decrease in the time width or the time interval, what we can say, between T1 to T2 and T2 to T3. When T1 to T2 and T2 to T3 are decreased, the total time period also decreases. When the total time period decreases, the frequency increases. The frequency increases. So this is how we get the frequency adjustment in the particular circuit. So increasing the resistance R4 decreases the frequency, decreasing the resistance R4 increases the frequency. Now in the same circuit we have to obtain the duty cycle adjustment also. So for duty cycle adjustment, we are in addition to the resistance R4, the circuit consisting of R6, R7, D1, D2 and R5 is shown, which is mainly used for duty cycle adjustment, which is nothing but adjusting the on time of the circuit so that the duty cycle can be varied. So the circuit adjusts the time intervals T1 to T2 and T2 to T3, keeping the total time T constant in this particular case, keeping the total time T constant. So now this adjusts the duty cycle, what we can say, of the waveform and is called duty cycle adjustment. So we will see how this happens here. Suppose if the output of the Schmitt trigger, that is the output of op-amp A, is plus Vsat. Then if it is plus Vsat, the diode D1 will be forward bias, D2 will be reverse bias. So if D1 is forward bias, then it acts as a short circuit and there is a current flowing from the resistance R4, R5 half of the part to D1, R6, the capacitor. So which we can say the current I1 is flowing through the diode D1, R6 and the capacitor and to the output part. Now when the output of A is minus Vsat, which is nothing but D1 is reverse bias, D2 is forward bias. So there is a current which is flowing from the capacitor, the resistance R7, the diode D2 and to R4. So which is nothing but the capacitor gets charged in the opposite direction. Previously, when current I1 was flowing, the capacitor gets charged in the one direction. Now the capacitor gets charged in the other direction. So this is how the currents I1 and I2 are flowing. So for this particular circuit, we can draw the waveforms in this particular form depending upon the resistance values of Rx and Ry. So R5 is nothing but it is a potentiometer there. R4 is also a potentiometer. R5 is mainly used for duty cycle adjustment. Its value is one end it as Rx and in other end it is at Ry. So in this case, when Rx is lesser than Ry and I1 is greater than I2, and that is I1 is the charging time, I2 is the discharging time, what we can consider. So in this case, PW, which is nothing but pulse width, SW is nothing but it is the space width. So we can see the difference what is occurring. The total time period T is constant, but the width of the pulse, that is the pulse width on time of the Schmitt trigger output has been varied, so that we get a variable duty cycle in this particular case by using the same circuit with some modifications in this particular circuit. Let the time period T1 minus T2 is equal to the pulse width PW, T2 minus T3 is the space width SW, and the time period, total time period T will be equal to PW plus SW, pulse width plus the space width. So duty cycle is nothing but D will be equal to pulse width divided by the total time period. So R5 is a potentiometer which is equal to Rx plus Ry, and the charging current I1 controls the pulse width, while the charging current I2 controls the space width in the waveform. So this is how the effect of I1 and I2 is observed by using the diodes D1 and D2 in the circuit. Now, controlling the position of the sliding contact of R5, proportion of Rx and Ry can be altered, and so that we can get the appropriate value of the duty cycle. This is how we can obtain the variation in the frequency as well as in the duty cycle for a triangular or a rectangular wave. Thank you for watching this particular video session.